This video contains minor spoilers and yeah, some gore and disturbing scenes. So, you have been warned. Yo, you know that girl's generation is making a come back. Is that eine lolly? It's not what you think. Uh-huh. Was ist das dann? Research. Hello, Polizei. Hey, what are you So the story is basically like this. MC suffered from a car accident. Accident killed his parents. Though MC miraculously survived but deeply injured, surgeons went YOLO and did experimental surgery on him. MC recovers, but now he sees...
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Humans now look like this, and since seeing is believing, his other senses get f***ed as well. Therefore, MC wants to isekai, but then Lolly shows up. Lolly looks gorgeous. MC falls in love with said Lolly. Now he lives for the Lolly, and since the Lolly is looking for someone, MC helps to search for that someone. And so begins a mystery, and well, a love story. This VN has a relatively short story, with my playtime being around 4 hours and 8 minutes, while VNDB's average playtime recorded is around 6 hours and 15 minutes. I do want to mention something. This is not my first time playing this VN. It's a replay for the sake of making this review due to more accurate references. Plus, back then, I didn't even record my playtime until my second VN review, which is about Eve Nicole. The f***ed-up MC, the dere lolly, the caring and friendly best friend, the gentle and shy waifu, and the badass tilf. Okay, so the MC called Sakisaka Fuminori is a medical student, and as a result of his hallucinations, he pretty much doesn't want to be near other humans or even outside his home. So yeah, introverted and anthropophobia, right? Most of the time, he is a reserved kind of person, especially when being around other people, even his friends. And since he sees them as monsters, Fuminori feels disgusted to even talk to or even be near them. The only salvation he could get from his altered perception is Saya, who's currently staying at his home, and the MC will always look forward and get relieved to return to her. And speaking of Saya, this dere lolly is basically someone who's searching for her father. Having met Fuminori at the hospital and basically enchanting him with her beauty, she took up his offer to live with him at his house while the MC searches for the dad instead. So in the meantime, Saya just stays at Fuminori's home, looks after the house, greets him like a wife when he returns, cooks food for him, and yeah, comforts him in bed. Being a dere, Saya shows her affection towards Fuminori openly and cheerfully. She also has a caring and friendly personality, towards Fuminori at least. And she does also sometimes take matters into her own hands for the betterment of the MC's well-being. Next, we have the best friend character, Tono Koji. Just like Saya, he also has a caring and friendly personality, and he is very considerate towards Fuminori, whom he considers as his best friend. After the incident, Koji has been worried about Fuminori's condition since the MC underwent a complete 180 personality change. Therefore, Koji has been trying to help him whenever he could, in the hopes that his life could return to normal. Besides that, Koji has a girlfriend, and they always hang out with the MC and one other waifu, whom he has been trying to set up with Fuminori. That particular waifu is called Tsukuba Yo, who is also the MC's friend, and she has a crush on him. Yo is also the best friend of Koji's girlfriend, so it's like a circle of friends, or rather a square of friends that revolves around these four people. And just like Koji, Yo is also worried about Fuminori's situation ever since the accident. In addition to that, she's also quite saddened due to his change in attitude towards even his own friends. As for her personality, Yo is a rather timid and reserved kind of person. She wants to show her affection to the MC, but sadly lacks the courage to do so, which is further supported by Fuminori's condition, indicating that the timing is not suitable. And now for the last main character, the badass tilf, Tambo Ryoko Sensei. A smart and insightful yet also mysterious and reserved character. She's basically the physician in charge of Fuminori's recovery. So yeah, a doctor, the sensei to the medical students, hence tilf. Ryoko Sensei is also a badass character when the situation arises, and hey, that's a bonus and always welcomed. Being a sensei, she gives off a mature and responsible vibe, but the sad thing about her is that she doesn't... Come on! Tilf, cool lab coat, and ultimately, those glasses! They reminded me of Rikaku Sensei from my collab vid. Anyway, advertising aside, Ryoko Sensei does get cautious when a topic comes up regarding the person that Saya is looking for, because she has the relation, some sort of a relation to that particular person. Tsukubayo's caring best friend, who's also Koji's girlfriend, the sort of judgmental neighbor, and his wife and daughter. And that's pretty much it. That's all the characters in this VN. If you're expecting a choice for best girl from me, to be honest, I don't have one due to the nature of this VN and its endings. But hey, naturally I will go the Tilf route all the way, as I've pretty much shown in the last section. Okay, so if you want to access the technical stuff in this VN, just right click and a list of commands will pop up, both in the main page and in the gameplay. I appreciate the developers for including the hotkey shortcuts as well, for faster and more convenient walkthrough. Next, this is what the config page looks like. And as usual, the cursed toggling character voices is here as well. You know, as fucked up as this VN is, it's not even worse than this feature that even haunts the majority of other VNs. You also get this gore censorship feature, but I don't really know about it since I never turn it on, cause hey, you gotta see the gore for the best experience, if you can handle it. For the gameplay itself, the story will all be told in an NVL type. So get ready for words to be bombarded in your face full screen. But I think that is really effective for this kind of VNs, which I will explain later on. Now back to the main page. You could get access to the sound library only after completing the entire game. And there's this staff comment button which will redirect you to a website page where you can read what the staff of the VN have written. But naturally, they're in Japanese, so get your Google Translate ready. As for the English translation, no issues found, no grammar or typing mistakes, and just like Dead and Aegis, I find it kind of hilarious that this kind of VNs with this kind of text get no mistakes in translation while the regular ones tend to. As for the CGs, you might think that it feels distorted, and the character art may also look off, but to me, I think it's okay. It fits the theme of the story, which gives off a creepy vibe. Oh yeah, the music is phenomenal, but I'll talk more about them in my opinion section. Lastly, I also want to mention that the MC is voiced in this VN for your information. Sayano Uta's story has 2 points with 2 choices each, leading to 3 endings, with the first ending being called the White Room, second is World Sanity, and the last is the Song of Saya, which is the name of the VN. The first ending can be accessed at the first point, while the remaining 2 are determined by the last 2 choices, if you didn't enter the ending at the first point. And speaking of which, considering my previous experiences of Fault Milestone 1 and Aukana Extra 1, thank God the choices f***ing matter now. Plus, the choices are actually placed at good points in the story. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Byako. Fuck you. Now, this is another story that resonates with me. It's dark, it's gore, it's creepy, but actually done right. It's kind of similar to Planetarian, the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing, with the light being a lolly that is Saya in Fuminori's perspective. Well, lolly, yes, but technically no. Just go play the damn game. The difference from Planetarian is that this VN has horny, which I wouldn't encourage getting off to, but it is actually written brilliantly well and is relevant to the plot. It plays with the forbidden fruit kind of thing beautifully and just shows how fucked up humans could be when pushed to their limits. This is also supported by the storytelling, the MVL style, as well as the nice editing of music in scenes and of course the songs themselves. Besides that, the story also addresses several plot holes quite good and is wrapped up nicely with its 3 endings, which I have no issues with. They're all great in their own way, and personally speaking, I don't know which ending would be considered the best ending. While the first ending plays with your emotions quite a bit, and it's nice to end it just like that in order to let yourself imagine what would happen afterwards. But the last 2 endings are the ones that shine. It actually kind of depends on which outcome you would prefer. The best ending for the story or the best ending for humanity, which you might think is an easy choice, but there are some details, both big and small, that might make you question your choice. This is because the story uses the idea of 2 perspectives really well. On one hand, you see from Fuminori's perspective, while the other you would see from other characters' perspective. They coincide beautifully and each side has their own justifications. So it's actually kind of difficult to, you know, choose a team here. Therefore, in all honesty, I don't really have a route recommendation, though I would suggest finishing with the first ending before the last two endings. But after that, just go with the gut. Regardless, the story is great overall. Nice pacing, reasonable character interactions, and understandable character developments. Though it's possibly not in the preferred direction, but hey, still justifiable. There is little that I dislike in this VN. Obviously, the lolly hate scenes need not be mentioned, but rather a part regarding the TILF. At some point of the story, she'll play a bigger role, which is obviously welcomed, duh. But I think that her motivation for doing so doesn't feel complete. Like, the story tells you that something happened regarding her, but doesn't really tell you what happened. I don't like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that felt off to me. Hey guys, Future ASid here. Apparently there is something else that I don't like in this VN, but it didn't cross my mind when I first wrote the script, and I condemned myself for it, but you guys know what it is. The lack of... Not saying that there isn't any, but I'll argue that it's not from the right person. Does it fit? Yes, but... No! I don't want to be turned on by a lolly. I don't need to be turned on by a lolly. What a waste of potential. But anyway, let's just move on. We'll move back to the past me. And as for the good stuff, the gore, naturally. Though some CGs don't show it completely, but they do give some kind of idea to what's happening. Besides, it's an NVL style. Let the words do their job and let your imagination do the rest, which I think is a good sense of storytelling in this case, because you typically don't understand what you don't see, and of course...
And you always fear what you don't understand.
After that, you could say that some gory moments are censored through the sight from Fuminori's perspective. Still, there are some direct moments that will give you some what the f reactions. Next, I also want to mention that I really like the OSTs in this VN. They just go damn well with the scenes, with the song titled Song of Saya 1 being my personal favorite in the VN. I say 1 because there are two versions, Song of Saya 1 and Song of Saya 2. Gotta give credit to whoever did the vocals for these two songs. She really nailed the beauty but also gave off a subtle hint of creepiness. So if you haven't played the VN and don't plan to because of the gore, I highly suggest that you grow out of your comfort zone just for the sake of the OSTs, because honestly, it's that good. I mean, fucking hell, if you have every single OST of the VN starting with the letter S, then you know they're gonna be fucking good. Okay, for the neutral stuff, meaning that they're okay if used in a story and still okay even if not used. One such thing is the trope of characters going into a creepy house alone. Yeah. Some of you might hate this trope, but personally speaking, okay, I do get bored of it, but it didn't really cross my mind in this VN. I mean, it's okay enough for the sake of story making, and plus, there is a human desire of ours, which is to satisfy our curiosity. So after watching that one Vine vid,
white people be like, Billy, where are you, Billy? Is that you? Black people be like, forget Billy, Billy's dead!
I just laugh at this trope. Now I want to talk about more spoiler-ish parts, so skip to the timestamp above for the next section. Like, you know, if you don't mind. Firstly, I want to address about one scene which could be considered a plot hole in the story. There is the scene where the neighbor f***ed Saya. I mean, truth be told, I did wonder why Saya didn't just kill the neighbor, considering that she or it pretty much killed Omi easily. Then I started to think a bloody long time, and I thought it would make more sense if she planned the whole incident. Considering how much of a coincidence it was when Fuminori returned and just so happened to see the neighbor f***ing her, which further strengthened his resolve to love her, and thus accomplishing her goal, which is to experience love. I don't really know, this is just a thought of mine, and maybe because another reason is because that Saya was suddenly overpowered or something. That could also be supported by the fact that Fuminori himself said that Saya might not be able to take on a fully grown man, as mentioned before their fight against Koji. I mean, it did take two of them to handle Koji after all. After that, some scenes just gave me a few grins. Like, I couldn't take them seriously. For example, when Saya introduced herself to Fuminori, that just felt like Obi-Wan's
Hello there
meme, to which I posted in Reddit. And also this scene where Fuminori was holding an axe, his face just looked dumb to me. so I can't help but laugh at it. Lastly, the endings themselves. Now, this is just gonna be me complaining because, yeah, the TILF doesn't get a good outcome in either of the last two endings. On one hand, she transforms, while on the other, she's dead. I can't waifu her because of that. Ah! Put aside the first ending, of course. And besides, she doesn't get more screen time in that one. Auf Wiedersehen! Apparently, I can't leave, so I have to talk about this section. Well, straight to the point, I find that the hate scenes in this VN are somewhat necessary, since they do give a storytelling of their own regarding the dark desires of humanity. That being said, I don't condone it, it's lolly, and there are some scenes with the R word that rhymes with tape. As for the scenes themselves, they include BJ, cowgirl, and threesome, plus they're short. Thank God for that. Personally speaking, I'm fine with horny, but some people might find it difficult with the second half. I mean the scenes that occur in the second half of the story, as they involve the R word that rhymes with tape. Overall, don't get horny in this VN. Let your blood cells flow to this part of the body instead of your brother down there. And well, if you're a woman, then thanks for watching my vids, I guess. But in all honesty, the real fun parts come from the TILF. Like, seriously, do you not see those legs? Those legs! Oh dear God, if you don't have this particular fetish, then it will start to grow on you after you look at the TILF. Sensei route is the best route. Truth be told, I did not know what to say at first for this section, so I asked my fellow VNTubers for some guidance. And well, here's some quotes from Adza and Whip Jail. I would say they're uncomfortable, but that's kind of the point. You say that fapping to it made you very uncomfortable. Well, you know how it is. When you fap into the void faps back. And then you say that you could only understand the artistry of it after fapping to it. And you didn't enjoy it, but that's the point. To conclude, Sayo no Uta is a great VN. It may not be for everyone, which I highly doubt because oh my god, look at those VNDB ratings. But regardless, I just want to say that this VN is a matter of perspective. You may find that humans aren't as humane as you would think, since they could be the very definition of a monster, while monsters, on the other hand, would ironically feel more human instead. Don't judge a book by its cover, as the saying goes. Anyway, Sayo no Uta gets a degen score of a strong 9 as well. The other strong 9 is Planetarian, to which I addressed in my last video. And that's all from me. Hope you guys can like and subscribe if the content is degenerate enough. Later, gens.
あらま。